So I was initially gonna release like videos this weekend on my thoughts on the picks. Like, after the Friday picks, I was gonna release a video that Friday night giving a grade to the players. But yeah, if I would have done that, it just would have been rant videos, because towards the end of both days, day 2 and day 3 of the draft, Texans made some pretty questionable moves. So I would have definitely been pissed, so I decided to just hold off on it, evaluate these guys more, and then give them an actual grade. So here's my actual grade, and I did not grade this draft on a curve, meaning I didn't factor in the fact that Deshaun Watson was the reason we didn't have a first round pick. I just graded the draft as it was, meaning the fact that we didn't have a first round pick or a second round pick did take off some points, because I think that wouldn't really be fair if I graded it on the curve, because that would really make me seem like, I guess, a delusional fan. So, and as always, I try to avoid that as much as possible. So without further ado, here are my draft grades. In the third round, first pick, I don't know how he fell here, but the Texans selected Justin Reed, safety out of Stanford. Again, I don't know how this guy fell here. The third best safety in the draft fell to the Texans in the third round. And if you watched my "Should the Texans trade up into the second round" video, or whatever you want to call it, Justin Reed was someone I would have been okay with the Texans trading up for, but he actually ended up falling right into the Texans' laps. And Justin Reed, man, good size, great speed. He runs a 4.4 flat. He can cover well, provides good run support. He can play free safety, he can play strong safety, he can play that box safety role as well. Some people say he can even play nickel corner. So this is just a versatile guy that is going to be really, really good for the Texans. Pairing him with Tyrann Mathieu, like I do not remember a better safety group than the one we have right now. So Andre Howe is probably going to be a backup now, or he might come in like certain sub packages, because Justin Reed, he is really, really good. I mean, a lot of scouts had him as a late first, early second guy, and the Texans picked him up in the third round. So technically, the Texans kind of did have a first round pick, if you really think about it. And it was just a great pick, man. This is a straight up A+. Great pick. This is the best safety group the Texans have had ever, I think. So definitely a great pickup. A lot of people were mad that we didn't pick an offensive tackle, but I mean, when there's a clear-cut better player than everyone else, and it was pretty clear, Justin Reed was better than everyone else on the board, you just take that player. Like, no questions asked. So with the second pick in the third round, the Texans selected Martinez Rankin, offensive tackle out of Mississippi State. At first I was like, who that? And then after doing more research, it is a good pick. I mean, I am a little bit upset that I didn't pick up Alex Kappa, because Kappa was there, or Tyrell Crosby, because Crosby was also there. But no, it was a good pick. This guy is a good run blocker, a good pass blocker. Issue, his arms aren't as long as you'd want them to be for an offensive tackle. However, the Texans still plan to play him at offensive tackle, which I really don't mind. We need an offensive tackle. A lot of scouts have this guy as a way better interior offensive lineman. So who knows where he ends up, but this guy's going to be a solid starter for us. Just not as good as Alex Kappa or Tyrell Crosby could have been, honestly. But nonetheless, still a good pick. We addressed a need, offensive tackle. I'll give this pick a B plus just because it wasn't Alex Kappa. Anyways, this is where things just went really bad for me. The third pick in the third round, the Texans selected Jordan Akins, tight end out of UCF. Okay, yeah, we addressed tight end. Tight end was definitely a need, yeah. But you get a guy that's not a good run blocker. He has good hands, I'll give him that. He finds a way to get open, I'll give him that. His route running is average. This guy's 26 though. Well, he's 25. He's going to be 26 when the season starts. You get a tight end that can't block or run block. He's a decent route runner. And he's going to be 26 when the season starts. Yeah, it's pretty questionable, but when you actually look at the game tape, this guy's actually pretty decent. Not complaining, I just think there was better tight ends on the board. He's old, of course. He's just a vertical threat. That's all he really is. 6'3", 245 pounds. When you really start to compare him to like other tight ends, this guy has a similar size and I guess kind of skill set to that of Patriots former tight end Aaron Hernandez. So I mean, I'm pretty sure you can see why they picked him. To me, he's just a slightly more polished and bigger version of Steven Anderson. So yeah, why would you bring this guy on the roster? But I mean, they did address a position of need. Just not very good. Now, I know a lot of people were like, what the hell, this guy has like a 7th round grade. But the thing about Akins is like, he's like one of those guys, happens every draft for some reason, with a bunch of players. Like, they're not much talked about pre-draft, but like during the draft, for whatever reason, they just start climbing up and climbing up and climbing up, and like he starts getting hyped up. Akins was one of them. He got hyped up like during the draft, and Texans ended up picking him in the 3rd round. So yeah, I give this pick a C. There was better tight ends on the board. In the 4th round, the Texans selected Kiki Coty, wide receiver out of Texas Tech. If you guys watched my mock drafts, I really like this guy. Shout out to Ferocious for really introducing me to him. But it is a slot receiver, a really good one too. He wasn't really asked to run many routes in Texas Tech, but the routes he did run, he ran them really well. So he might not have a complete route tree just yet, but he has a good understanding for the game. He's fast, he's shifty, he's quick, he makes plays, and if you really need him to, he can play outside too. He's a good returner. Just an all-around solid pick for the Texans. Really like this guy. I think he's gonna push out Ellington and Braxton Miller for the 3rd wide receiver spot, the slot receiver. I know a lot of people are like, well, say goodbye to Braxton Miller, but no, it's not the end of Braxton Miller. Braxton Miller is just going to be the 5th wide receiver on the roster because the Texans carry 5 wide receivers. Really good pick. I give this pick an A. And with the first 6th round pick, the Texans selected Duke Ejiofor, edge rusher out of Wake Forest. This guy had a 3rd to 4th round grade on him, so the Texans really got a steal right here. The reason he dropped is because of a small injury that's really not that big of a deal. He's going to be back. I want to say a little bit before preseason is a date they have set for him, so he'll definitely play this season. But this guy is just a really good pick, another good value pick, a guy that dropped that the Texans picked up, which isn't a risk at all because the guy is good. He's sets the edge. He's a good pass rusher. He could also kick him inside apparently, and he could rush the passer from inside. So It is a really, really good pick because the Texans do need situational pass rushers. That's something they lacked, and it's pretty apparent when you watch the Texans play. Whitney, Merciless, Clowney, and Watt usually gassed by the fourth quarter, so they need more players for depth issues, or in case someone gets hurt. Ejiofor fits that role. This pick gets an A+ for me. And right here, another questionable pick by the Texans. With the second pick in the 6th round, the Texans selected Jordan Thomas, tight end out of Mississippi State. This guy's not good. He's supposed to be a big guy. He's 6'6", 265 pounds. But he can't block. Mississippi State really used him as a wide receiver, more of. He's not a good route runner. He's got a really big hand, so he has good hands. This guy is just not all that good. But he's just a physical mismatch because he's so big. So, he just snags on whoever's on him. I see the Texans really using this guy kind of as a red zone threat type of guy. You just set him out wide, and odds are you can snag on who's ever on him. And when he actually catches the ball in the open field, he's kind of hard to bring down. Size comparison, Rob Gronkowski. So the first tight end the Texans got, he has similar measurables to that of Aaron Hernandez. The second guy they got has similar measurables to that of Rob Gronkowski. So you can see what the Texans are trying to do here. They're trying to recreate that Gronk and Aaron Hernandez thing they had back in 2011, 2012. I mean, Jordan Thomas is just like a really, 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 really poor man's Rob Gronkowski, I guess you could say. This pick, to me, it gets a D-. The only reason it doesn't get an F is because he's a big boy. That's really it. It's a terrible pick by the Texans. I don't know why they doubled it that tight end. I really don't. They could have easily gone an offensive tackle here. And with the last pick of the 6th round, the Texans selected Peter Colombayi, edge rusher out of Stanford. Now here's the guy who was highly recruited coming out of college. Year 1 in college he was solid. Year 2 he was solid. Year 3 he was solid. Year 4 he was solid. So you're probably wondering, well, why did he drop? Well, he never got better. There's a guy with a lot of athletic ability, just talented, but he was never able to put that all together and kind of reach the next level. So the Texans kind of just took him to see if they can, unlock his potential and he could turn into a good player because he does have physical talent. I say it's a good pick by the Texans. I mean, at this point, it's the type of players you draft. So I give this pick an A. To me, this guy is just pretty much a slightly better version of Brendan Scarlett with a way higher ceiling. And with the last pick, the Texans selected Jermaine Kelly, corner from San Jose State. I give this pick a B. Apparently this guy, he's got good size, decent speed. He can play the outside. He's better suited for zone coverage, average at man. So, I mean, it's more of a special teamer pick. I kind of see it. I give this pick a B. Nothing all that special. Did address a need. Could be used in special teams. Overall, though, I give this draft grade a C+. Again, no curve, C+. Those 2 tight end picks really messed it up for the Texans, honestly. But overall, I'd say it's a pretty decent draft. Nothing amazing, obviously, because no first or second. But, I mean, it is what it is, a C+. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. So be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Comment down below your own opinions on the draft. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.